Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Sophia, and we've been making videos about Bible stories. In fact, we've made 10 of them so far, which is quite a few. And so we thought we'd take this chance to think back about the past 10 videos and what we've learned and talk about them a little bit. So we thought we'd do this sort of in an interview style. So we'll start out with a question for Sophia. So Sophia, which video is your favorite and why?
Abel and Canaan, because we made it in sock puppets,
Yeah.
and it was sort of hard to sew the eye on, but I also had some fun sewing the eye on.
Yeah.
And I got to kill you, and I got to hold a potato. A real life potato.
Yeah, there's a real potato in that one. So that's what made it a lot of fun?
Yeah, and that I got punished.
Oh, yeah.
What does the process of making a video look like?
Well, you've kind of gotten the hang of this now. What we do is I pick out a Bible story that I think will translate relatively well and kind of get the right size of it. And then what we do is we read through it a couple of times at night to kind of get the handle on what the story is and what happens and who does what and all this other stuff. And then we start, kind of making the art stuff. Because there's a lot of drawing usually involved or things like that.
No, there's more art.
Well, there's been a lot of art in these, hasn't there?
Yeah, not that much writing.
Yeah, so we kind of work on that, and then in parallel we'll also work on sort of writing out the dialogue for the story. Then once we get all of our art put together, we'll shoot all the raw footage, usually in one shot. We try and get all that done in one shot, because usually if it spreads over 2 days, it's kind of a mess. And so once we've got all the raw footage, then we'll go and start putting it together, and once we have sort of a rough cut on putting it together, in most cases we'll do a voiceover in the background. We do all that stuff in iMovie. iMovie is good enough to get the job done, and it's not like the best editing software in the universe or anything, but it's good enough for what we do. And so we get the rough cut, put it together, do voiceovers on top of it. I really like doing voiceovers because it makes the audio quality sound a lot better. Then just sort of assemble the pieces, and that's about it. Okay, well I tell you what, let's take a look at the first video and see if we remember what happens in that one.
Yeah. On the first day, God created light and dark. On the second day, God made sky and ground. On the third day, God made oceans, land, and plants. On the fourth day, God made sun, moon, and stars. On the fifth day, God made birds and fish. On the sixth day, God made animals and people. On the seventh day, God rested.
And so that was the creation video. So Sophia, what do you like least about making the videos?
All the writing.
Yeah, you don't like the writing that much?
Yeah.
What do you not like about the writing?
Because writing takes a while, and writing is just too boring.
Oh, is it too boring?
Yes.
Are you getting way too much practice doing writing on these?
Yes. And way too much practice writing at school. No, literally.
Too much, huh?
Yes. How do you choose the style for each video?
That's kind of a hard one. Sometimes, especially the first couple ones where it was pretty easy to pick something. Like the creation one, I liked the whole light and dark thing, and the next couple ones it was just trying out different ideas, especially with some of the stop motion and sock puppets and just sort of trying out different things. And different stories just lend themselves to different styles. A lot of them I think are easy too in that they're in this really old, they're Old Testament stories, and so it's kind of like you can get away with using older styles, you know, and say, oh, it's all sepia tone so it looks old, or it's black and white so it looks old. I think we'll probably try and branch out to do some other things later on, but the first ones have been easy. To be honest, it's getting harder to pick new ways of
Yeah,
doing
but
stories.
the one that we're now coming up with is like so easy for me to do.
Oh yeah, that one's going to be easy.
Yeah.
And it's a newer style too.
Yeah.
That I think will be very interesting, especially as we try that one out. That may be something that we do a bunch more going forward.
Okay.
So, tell you what, let's look at the next video.
Yeah. God is love. God made Adam. God made Eve. Together they reflect God's love.
So that's the Adam and Eve video. It's one of my absolute favorites, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you make the video?
Well, we took like our big giant box of Legos. It's blue and it has like a whole bunch of Legos. There's even pink and purple, which is very odd Lego colors. Don't you think?
Well, what did you do with the Legos?
Well, we built a little stand for the lamp and
Yeah, we used it for the iPod.
yeah, we used Daddy's iPod. It might be mine or Daddy's. I don't know which, but we took one of our iPods and we built a little tiny stand for that. And we took also some rice to make the little shapes and stuff, and then we took a black piece of paper to put under the rice.
Okay.
What are your goals for the project?
I've got kind of two goals for the project. One is to introduce you kids to the stories so that you're familiar with them. And the other one is to give you some exposure to making things and give you some tools for how to build and tell stories. Part of it is learning how to construct a way to tell the story that's not too complicated, leaves the important bits in. Okay, so speaking of stories, let's take a look at video number 3.
Who does the writing and who does the writing? How do you share the work?
Well, initially I was doing like almost all of the writing and a lot of the project work and a lot of the first one, like I cut out everything and did all the writing for the first couple of them. But now I'm starting to transition more to get you to do more of the writing.
Yeah, because I'm in 2nd grade.
Yeah, you're in 2nd grade. We've actually been making these for a while.
Yeah, like 10 videos, like.
It's quite a few, and we've gotten to the point now where you're able to write quickly enough that we can get some things down.
And now this is our 11th video.
Oh yeah. and we've even gotten Roman in on a couple of them, as you saw in the last one.
Yeah.
But a lot of it too is, he's not as good at knowing lines and stuff, and you honestly have trouble with lines too.
Yeah, but this video that we're right now making is like mostly I can remember my lines.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you've gotten a lot better. And if you take a look, the first videos, right, we kind of set them up so that you wouldn't have to do live lines as much.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of heavy voiceovers so that we could work the lines out without it being live, which helped a lot, I think, when we were doing some of the initial ones. So, but as we get back, we're starting to transition more of it where you're having to do more of the writing.
More of the work.
Yep, more of the work.
More of the cutting out.
Yep,
more of the work.
Coloring and all that stuff, which I think is good. It's giving you more experience doing things like that, and it means that we can do, honestly, more complicated and cool videos.
Yeah, and
that was Moses and the Burning Bush, right?
yeah, that one, like, we got Caitlin, Lucas, they're one of our neighbors, so Roman, me, Daddy,
Well, yeah, I mean, a couple in the background too.
and we also got Castle. He's my brother.
Yeah,
He's cute.
when we've been making like some big backgrounds and pieces, we've been able to get other people to help us out. Especially for really big coloring jobs, you got to get more people involved.
Yeah, like remember that time? Like, good thing that we had Caitlin and Lucas.
Yeah, and you remember the other big backdrop we did for Cain and Abel, right? Which I think is the next video. There's a huge backdrop there, and
Like we got Mommy,
Yeah.
Roman, but Roman messed up.
he did some good bits.
No, or like the face, the different colors that we did.
Yeah, he had some different colors, but
Yeah.
it's one of those. We're trying to involve more people, especially in some of the art creation stuff, because that can take a big chunk of time, especially coloring in. Probably the worst one for coloring in was Noah. That one took forever to color in all those bits.
What?
The Noah one, where we had like the ark and the waves.
Oh
and the
yeah, that
people.
took forever.
Oh man, I mean literally, it took us forever to get that color all colored in.
Yeah.
And I think we killed several pens doing it, so
Yes.
I would recommend not using felt tip markers to color in large amounts of stuff like that. It was a huge mess.
Note, don't do that.
Yes.
Trust me. I even had to throw. I was thinking that I had to throw away my favorite color.
Yeah, there was.
And those markers was Mommy's markers.
Yeah, some of them were Mommy's.
No,
So,
actually, all those markers were Mommy's.
oh, I guess they were. Yeah, we kind of wore out of them.
Yeah, and we even had to throw away a bunch of browns.
Well, that's because we used a lot of brown to color in the ark.
Which was really
So,
sad.
It was
Like
kind
one
of
of
sad.
my favorite browns. Like, really?
Yeah. Okay, so are there any styles that you would like to do that we haven't done in our 10 videos yet?
I was thinking of doing like a little stuffed animal one.
Oh, with like different stuffed animals?
Oh, but we should totally do one that has blue in it. We should totally do that.
Yeah.
But we could make him be like crawling around.
Crawling around? We'll have to find the right story to do that with.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because most of the stories in the Bible don't have that many animals in them.
Yeah.
Most of the animals
But-
in the Bible
but-
tend to
but
get
we-
sacrificed.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And we could go and get little or we could do it in Barbies. We could go and get some more boy Barbies.
Yeah, and do something with that. Okay. Okay, so we'll have to try something like that.
But we can make the Barbie's clothing.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because we could use like toilet paper. I know that's a weird idea.
I think they'd be mummy ones. Anyways, let's take a look at the next video. Adam and Eve had kids. There was Cain. He grew plants. And there was Abel. He grew sheep. Hi.
Hi.
In the course of time, Cain brought his offering to God. And Abel brought his offering to God. I give back to you some of what you gave to me. Thank you. And God spoke to Cain. Why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do not, sin is crouching at your door, waiting to devour you.
Abel, come here.
Yes? Ah! And the Lord said to Cain, where is your brother Abel?
I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?
And the Lord said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Now you are cursed. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield your strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth.
My punishment is more than I can bear. Someone will kill me.
Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Here is a mark. Now go. Okay, so that was your favorite video. Now tell me, what was the video that was the hardest to make?
I think it's this one.
Really? So it's the one that you had the most fun of that was also the hardest one to do. What made it so hard?
Yeah, all the talking. But it's actually pretty fun because I like to talk. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
You do like to talk a lot.
Hey, why did you say that?
You do. Which is one of the reasons we like doing it. These videos are fun to do.
Yes.
It's an opportunity to use what you like doing.
Oh, so that's why you always make me do the talking.
Oh, now you're figuring it out. Okay.
What equipment did you use?
Well, that's a good question. We'll take you on a tour.
Yes! Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay, so here's kind of like this. This is actually the scene that we have. This is an example of us shooting, where you can see that there's stuff hidden just off camera, like, hey, here's all of our notes, and what we were watching the video on.
This is our thing that we watched the video on.
Yep. And we just use an inexpensive digital camcorder on a tripod.
And we have like these lights.
And a little while ago, we recently picked up some super cheap lights, and we just literally, we stacked up some chairs on a box to have something to clamp them to, and that's all we use. And there's a spare one over here. We found that it's really helpful because with, inexpensive digital cameras, they really need a lot of light in order to look good. Once you get a lot of light, they start looking a whole lot better. Okay, so that's kind of our gear. And this is our voiceover studio where we do our recording. So it's got the microphone there that goes into the little box, and then we record it on the big iMac for inclusion in iMovie for putting it all together. Got a little bit of acoustical foam there too, which helps keep the reflections down and makes the audio sound good.
And a giant mess.
Yep, and the desk is a giant mess. That's just kind of the way it is with all the gear.
Yes. There was a person called Noah. Noah talked to God and obeyed God. Nobody else listened to God. God told Noah to build an ark. Noah built the ark and collected animals just like God told him to. Then Noah and his wife and his sons and their wives got on the ark, just like God told them to. Then it rained for 40 days and nights and flooded and wiped out all the sinful people. Finally, the rain stopped and the waves went down. Noah sent out a dove, but it came back. He sent it out again, and it didn't return. When the ground was dry, Noah and his family came out of the ark. They thanked God for saving them. How did you make the video?
Well, this one is pretty obvious. We just colored in the different shapes and then, cut them out, and it ended up being an awful lot of coloring with the markers that we had. And then we used, if you remember, we used a green screen in order to add the extra waves in for the wavy bits, and also with the dove too. We just did the dove in front of a green screen. Or no, wait, we put the green on the stick with the dove, and you can kind of see it in there, but it worked out okay, I think. I am really happy with how the waves turned out, though. That was really nice.
But the workout for the waves, like...
Oh yeah, holding there and then moving them around back and forth, that was really hard.
But Dad, how did we do the third wave? Because we only have
Well, we did, so there's the background, right, with the sky, and then there's a wave in back and the boat, and we did those together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did another one with a green screen and the two front waves together. And then when you take out the stuff that's green, and then we put the boat and the back wave and the background in front of the two waves digitally.
Oh.
So.
Did you add a stick on to the boat?
Yeah, there's a stick on the boat. You can see it just barely in the video. When the waves kind of go low, you can actually see there's a popsicle stick holding the boat up.
I didn't exactly see that.
Yeah, it's in there. It's one of those, if you know to look for it, that there's your secret. There's a popsicle stick that the boat is being held up by. Okay, so how do you feel about the process of making the videos?
Pretty hard.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
But also, really fun. I'm having more stuff to do. I'm having more fun with school. I'm having more things to do. So I don't go I'm so bored. I'm going to go and watch TV.
Yeah, it's better than watching TV?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Better than watching TV. You heard it here.
Yes, and at least there's art in it.
Yep.
Because I like art.
Awesome.
And at least we get to keep the art projects.
Yes.
Or the stuff that we make, like the puppet video with the burning bush.
Yeah.
We actually got to keep, every video we make, we get to keep all those things that we get. This video that we're making, we get to keep the cards.
So you like having the little kind of tokens leftovers?
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun because we end up with some sort of stuff left over from building the videos.
And
we really haven't had to reuse much of it so far.
yeah.
We've been just building all new stuff as we go along.
But we can also reuse chairs, those giant lights.
Oh yes, I mean some of the hardware we
boxes,
reuse, but
books.
Yep.
On one of the Cain and Abel, we used a giant that was in my old room, but now it's the twins' room.
Yep, we did that one upstairs.
We took a whole giant stack of books.
Yeah, we had to build that up so that we had a place to put the little altar thing.
Hey Dad, are we gonna make at the end once we're done with all the videos, can we show people what we used, all the things?
Well, yeah, we normally do that in this video. We can show them the different bits of things that we use to make the different videos. And that's why we're talking about it, too.
Yeah, so... And then we used my green box that had, like, some of my, like, little tiny toys that were, like, bobbleheads, cute little small Barbies, little tiny crawling things. I had a crab and a ladybug and little backyardigans.
Yeah, we've used all sorts of things, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've used, one of our favorite things to use, for example, is PVC pipe, right? To make stands, the white pipes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, we use those for all kinds of things.
Yeah, oh, and guess what? At Lowe's, once we were buying the right kind of tubes because we accidentally got the wrong kind of tubes, we buy the right kind of tubes, but then when Daddy was looking for them, he saw these giant...
Oh, the big foam things?
Yeah,
so we got a bunch of foam things too.
No, we only... Not a bunch, only 3.
Well, we got 3. But
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
We should take a look at the next video, huh?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
we should.
Next video.
Long time ago, God told people to go out over the earth, but the people didn't want to, so they built a city. God went down and made people talk in different languages, so they left and went out over the earth like God told them to. The city was called Babel.
Okay, so what part of making videos do you think is the most fun?
The art.
The art?
Because art is like my most favoriteest thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's my first favorite thing, but my least favorite thing to do is go to sleep. But it is my half favorite thing and my least favorite thing.
Well, you do have to sleep, right?
Yes, so you should like it a little.
A little. Okay.
So that's like my 100th.
Okay.
I think which video was the hardest to make?
Honestly, I think it was the Babel video. Because that one was really long. Yeah, and we had to make it 2 times.
Yes, like the first time we did B-A-B-A-L.
A-L, which is not how you spell Babel.
Yes.
And there was no way to fix it in post-production because that was like the big reveal, you know?
Yes, you had to fix it. So we had to start all over.
Yes.
And the second time I got my like little tiny Lego girl and my little tiny bunny. And we took my little tiny carrot and we kept on moving it around.
Yeah, I don't think you can see the carrot in the final video. I mean, you can see the bunny moving around.
Yeah,
but you can't see
the carrot.
So, I will admit though, the second time around was a little bit better, except for the end. The end I'm still not happy with because it's so shaky, you know, there at the end. But, yeah, that one, I don't know, it's like everything that could go wrong just about did go wrong on that.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look, now that we're past the Babel one, at the next video.
God promised Abraham he would have lots of descendants. Abraham had only one son named Isaac. God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, so Abraham went to the place God told him to.
Here's sacrifice. God will give us the sacrifice. We are here. Let's build the altar.
Stop! I know that you fear God and were willing to sacrifice your own son.
Abraham looked and saw a sheep stuck in the bushes, and he took the sheep and he sacrificed the sheep instead of Isaac.
Okay, so we're back with Roman too, who starred in 2 of our videos so far.
So, hey Roman, what part of the videos is the most fun? Sleeping.
Did you like the sleeping part in that one where you got to pretend like you were asleep? Yeah.
Yeah, that was his probably most favorite part. But were you liking where I was about to kill you, but then Daddy actually was pretending the god, but but did you like where the pretend god said stop at me before I killed you? Yeah.
Yeah, was that pretty good?
Yeah. That's quick.
Yep. Okay, let's watch the next video.
Yep. Jacob had many sons, but he loved Joseph more than the others and gave him a special coat to show how much he loved Joseph. This made his brothers jealous. Joseph's brothers hated him so much they sold him into slavery. Those traders took him to Egypt and sold him to Potiphar. Joseph served Potiphar well and was put in charge of all the house. But Potiphar's wife wanted Joseph to sin with her, but Joseph didn't. He ran away from her so he would not sin. Potiphar's wife lied about Joseph and he was put in jail. In jail, Joseph worked hard. When the Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker had dreams, God gave Joseph the right explanation of the dreams. Years later, Pharaoh had a dream about cows and grain. Joseph was brought and God gave him the explanation of the dream. There would be 7 years of good crop, then 7 years of bad crop. Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of getting ready for the bad times. Joseph got the whole country ready by storing food in a huge building all over Egypt. When the 7 good years were over, there was no food in Canaan, where Joseph's family lived. So they came over to Egypt to buy food, but they didn't even recognize Joseph. But Joseph told them, "You intended to hurt me, but God intended it for good." So his whole family moved to Egypt, where there was food.
Joseph. Long story, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you wish you could have done a little differently on that video?
Change the dialogue into probably 15 words. That would have been way much easier.
So a lot less dialogue?
Mm-hmm.
That one was kind of long, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 30 words.
It was a lot more than 30 words.
Maybe 100?
At least that.
I don't think we could get to 100 words. Maybe in one video we could make 100 words.
Probably.
Oh, I know. Probably on this video we're saying 101 words. Don't you think?
There probably was.
Because I'm talking a lot.
There was a lot of story in that one there, wasn't there?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
How did you make the video?
How did I make the video? Well, this one is a little different than the ones we've normally done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so on this one, what we did is we just on white paper, we drew out each of the different scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then colored them in, and then scanned them all in, and then got some stock footage of, like the papyrus background, so it would look all like papyrus, and like the hieroglyphs, and added those in, and then just composited them all together in an image processing program. Ideally, I wanted to sort of have them slide in the video instead of folding like the pages of a book, because back then it was all, the scrolls.
Yeah.
So that it would look like it was just one big continuous scroll, but that doesn't seem to be an iMovie, and it was one of those, I just was like, okay, we're just going to do the folding sheet thing instead.
But you could actually just do that, they had some sticky stuff to make the pages be stuck together, and then they could just pull it off, or maybe they just put it or maybe they just had normal pieces of paper and they just picked it up like that.
Well, usually they put them in big scrolls.
Yeah.
In big ones. But we couldn't make that effect work, so
Yeah.
anyways, it ended up being sheets of papyrus instead.
Yes.
So that's how we made that video. On to the next one?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Itty bitty Moses was crying in his room. Then came his mom and sang a little tune. Hush, little baby, the Lord will be your guide, and no one will ever harm you, for God is by your side. To a tiny basket the baby Moses went. Listen to the Nile and to the palace sent. Hush, little baby, the Lord will be your guide. No one will ever harm you, for God is by your side. Lovely Pharaoh's daughters saw Moses in the Nile, picked him up and loved him and raised him as their child. Hush, little baby, the Lord will be your guide, and no one will ever harm you, for God is by your side.
So that one was really different. It's the first one where we had a song in it. It's the first one where we had dancing in it. Really different. So which do you like better? I mean, we've done art ones, we've done acting ones, and we've done now a music one. Which do you like best?
Music, because I really like dancing, singing, so
Okay.
I can also come up with a song in 1 minute.
Yeah.
How did you make the video?
Well, this one was different, right?
Yeah.
Because we had to, so I went online and happened to find this little kind of poem thing, song, and grabbed some sheet music, put that into GarageBand, right, with a couple of instruments, and then had you sing it, and sort of put all that stuff together, and then we did the dancing separately, which I think was a good idea, because it's kind of hard to both dance and do the words all at the same time. You have to be pretty coordinated to do that, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What's next video? Next video is number 10, so last one.
When Moses was older, he was watching the Hebrew slaves and saw one being beaten. Moses killed the slave driver and hid the body. What he did became known and fled Egypt. Moses ended up in Midian, where he met Zipporah, who he married, and raised sheep. Many years later, Moses was out tending the sheep. He saw a burning bush, but the bush wasn't destroyed. He went over to it, and God spoke to him and told him to go to Egypt, face Pharaoh, and tell him to let the Hebrews leave Egypt. Moses didn't want to, but God told him to go anyways.
So that was video number 10. Actually, that's our second puppet video so far. So, because we did Cain and Abel, and then we did Moses and the Burning Bush. So, which style of puppets do you like better, and why?
Stock, because it's like you don't have to put that much decorations. Like, why would you put like a ton of decorations? Like, girl. I know I do that a lot.
Yeah, so you like the simpler ones?
Yeah, but if you're doing a girl, like you could take like red felt, get a bottle of glue it around the waist, and then make it look like a skirt.
Yeah, you can do something simple.
Mhm.
Yeah, we ended up doing a lot of decoration on those.
Yes, and I think I did overdo.
Yeah, I think you and Roman both overdid it on the decorations.
Yes, we did. But what advice would you have for people who want to make videos?
I'd say don't worry too much about the quality of everything. Just get what you got together and make them. You know, I mean, that's what we started doing. Is we just grabbed the camera we had and started putting things together. It doesn't have to be all fancy and complicated. I mean, on each of the videos, there's a couple of things on each of them that I'm like, oh, if only I had done that differently, or I could do it a little bit better if I spent a little more time adjusting it in post. But you know, it's not worth it. The point is to have some fun, learn the stories, and try out some new ideas.
And try out new stuff. But it's actually fun to have fun with my dad and my brothers and friends.
So, that's it.
Uh-huh.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.